So, week 2. What do we do? Who wants to start? I guess I'm starting. Okay, so we wasn't in on Monday because it was bank holiday. Okay.
God, rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth.
Oh well.
Should we restart that?
No,
let's rewind.
Why?
It's alright, just keep going.
I just did that out of respect.
Okay, fine.
I'm ready to
Rest in peace, Queen.
Yeah, rip.
Anyway, Tuesday, we had research. No, we had a tutorial with Martina, and we had Jamie as well. In Jamie's lesson, we all go in a circle. We all scanned our monologues and all that sort of stuff. Jamie actually asked us a few questions about our monologues, like what it's about and stuff like that, more or less. Do you guys want to tell what your monologues are about? Or?
I didn't have a monologue prepared for that lesson because I don't have a printer at my house. So he ended up handing me one, so I sort of just used that as a point of reference. And then I talked about it to Sandra, and we analysed that, and then it helped me actually go home and analyse my own one.
Because there's a
we went up into
one we had to.
Yeah, we then partnered up, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went into partners.
I believe for me, the monologue I worked on was it my Death of the Salesman one? We're talking about Tuesday here, aren't we? Was it the Death of the Salesman? Because I'm just trying to think of the monologues I've got my Arthur Miller one, Much Ado. That was it. Richard II was the one I worked on, I believe, on Tuesday. I'm actually quite happy with how it went, thinking back on it, because I was a little bit shaky on my line, so I was doubting myself a little bit. But in terms of feedback, Jamie said that I was really clear, and he made a joke actually about when I'm speaking normally. He sometimes finds it quite hard to understand me, but when I'm up on stage and I'm becoming a character, I'm really clear. So I was really happy with that. And one thing that I do know I need to work on is just my movement in that piece as well. There's a line where I say, "Let us sit upon the ground," and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the line, but the point is that I need to try and motivate that, because when I was holding that script as well, it was kind of just like I sat down as myself rather than as the character of Richard II. So that's something I want to work on.
Jamie introduced us a technique where depends what character we've chosen, we just we stand around, just embody that character for like a few seconds, and then we're just in character. I have a feeling that lots of people are in character during that little experiment, but yeah, that's more or less what we did on Tuesday, if I'm being honest. Who wants to do Thursday?
Thursday we had Ryan in the morning, didn't we?
No, that's Friday. Thursday we had Emily and we had Gary.
Oh yeah.
So who wants to do that one since I've done Tuesday?
In Emily's lesson, we just got on with the stage design. Luke went in the other room and he got on with designing some more outfits and stuff, whilst I got on with drawing olden day New York buildings. I could sort of switch up and make my own sort of design out of for the because we went on our own sort of little tangent of the New York. We kind of wanted to bring something to it which was our own. So I've sort of just been sprucing up New York in sketches and stuff.
Me and Rosie, we started our we started our model because we're making a full-on mood box. So I think that's what it's called, mood box.
Model box.
That's what it's called. We went in the workshop room, and we found our bots. We basically just did the normal stuff, unscrewed it. Spray painting and all that sort of stuff. There's still stuff that needs to be done, so after this Viva, I'm going to go in there and finish it up real quick. At the start, I was kind of confused on what I was supposed to do, because I didn't really get the point of it's because I'm doing a musical play, me and my partner, but I didn't get the part where I have to stay with the story, but I can also make it up, If you get what I mean. So like, how am I supposed to stay with it, but also
Your interpretation.
don't make up? Yeah, it's like just like what? But at the end, they explained it more to me. I was like, oh, okay, I sort of get it now. It's basically you can add stuff, but don't make it like too unrealistic or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
don't make it ridiculous.
Like if it's about like Animal Farm, don't start doing like I don't know, Star Wars just start appearing or something.
Yeah,
like
don't
that.
just add different elements.
Yeah.
Like keep the same sort of thing, but change it up, spruce it up, but don't
Yeah.
just completely change the whole idea of the play or musical.
Yeah,
you're doing.
keep like the main like meat of the play, coming with your own concepts, I suppose as well.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
a burger. If it's a beef burger, you can't switch it out for chicken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can always have different sauces.
My play was actually a musical called The Wild Party. The main thing that me and Jake did is we just discussed some set pieces, set designs. On Wednesday, I had actually been to see Blues from Alabama Sky at the National Theatre, and that was set in 1930s Harlem, which and so it had a very similar style to like 1920s Manhattan. So I just looked at the set. I mean, I put a couple of photos on my Wix site, and I just spoke to Jake about different like concepts and or like pieces like props that I really liked. We did actually have a discussion about if we wanted to keep it minimalistic, because Jake was saying because it's quite close to like the Depression, people aren't going to have a lot. They're not really going to have lots of grand objects, especially a struggling dancer and a clown. But then we also had like because it's meant to be a wild party. We weren't sure how. I wasn't sure how big to go on the set, but we found out now. Like we've got a good idea of how we want to do the set. And outside of that, I'm going to be working on lights, a synopsis, and potentially a mood board. Yeah.
Okay.
Moving
Okay.
on to Gary's lesson.
It was a very intense lesson that day. We walked in, he gave us a script, and in fact, he didn't actually tell us where it's from, but there was like 3 characters to it. We had to get into like 3 pairs or whatever like that.
Yeah, DS and moderator.
Those were the characters, and we had like 10 minutes to learn the lines and like where you're gonna stand and that sort of stuff. Because that's what he gave us. He just gave us the script. Said, all right, learn them, do your movement, and that's it. That's
Yeah.
fine.
We split off into 3 groups. I was with Sandra and Jacob. I believe you guys were performing to each other actually, because we went into the black room, and then we came in and we did a performance. Gary also said that the characters we played this week were the characters we should work on building memories, stories of. Gary, he said that's what he recommends for us to create emotional scenes like this. He said it'd be about 40 minutes work per character, just building memories of your relationships with these people, how you know them, and then outside of that, how the scene went. I think it went pretty well. I mean, I know what the movie's from. I haven't what movie it's from, and I haven't seen it, but I was quite happy with my performance and the decisions I made as moderator. And I look forward to playing DNS in the future.
I was too focused on basically like the lines. I think that was like my main struggle here. I was too focused on the line, and then when I first performed it, I got it mixed up. I said someone else's line because I was too busy scanning over the full line. I was like, wait, why am I focused on the line? And Gary even said that I don't think you should really focus on the lines that much. Like, don't stress too much because they can tell if you've been focused on the lines for like 10 minutes or so. You're gonna like, yes, you can skim through it, but you're also gonna like think that word, like, what does that word mean, and how should I feel when I say that word? Or if someone says to you, I'm trying to remember one of the lines. I'm sorry I shut the door or something like that, the car door. It was something like that.
Yeah, I lost you when I got in that car.
Yeah, that was it.
And I lost you when I got in that car. I'm sorry. Like, how does that line make you feel, and what do you think your reaction will be once you've heard that? It was stuff like that. What Gary said you gotta pay attention to, because little stuff like that, the camera will get it, and it's perfect.
Yeah, just to add on to what Ricardo said, I'm gonna, reflecting on that session, I am gonna try and write a memory as well about what happened before she got in the car. You know, was it like a final goodbye? Like I can make a decision like we're both going off to different universities, or we've had a massive argument, and she says she doesn't want to ever see me again. And she gets in the car, and I let her go, and I'm shouting at her, you know, swearing and carrying on. So I'm gonna create that memory once I make a decision as an actor, what I want my relationship to be like.
Kieran, do you want to say anything? Like how that's a win?
It is quite challenging because the scene is an emotional scene. You've sort of got to be crying and like, well, you don't have to be, but the scene's sort of set up for that, isn't it? So I'm going to have to work quite hard on this because I'm not a very emotional person, so I don't really want to try and do this scene because I just know it's going to be a struggle. But when we did perform it, it just didn't. I just couldn't really get into the character because, like I said, I don't really. Yeah, so it was a bit difficult of a character for me to play. So I was playing D. And I did speak to Gary about trying to sort of get the emotion through. And he mainly said don't use... He said he personally wouldn't use... is it, how do you say his name? Stanislavski? Stanislavski. He said he personally wouldn't use Stanislavski's technique of taking your own pass and doing that, because then again, you're not even in character, you're just yourself. And again, if you like perform that and have to use that every single day, it can be torturous.
It's gonna help you like real bad.
Yeah.
Like think about what's his name. I mean, I don't think he did it, but
Gary Oldman's an example of that.
I was literally just about to say.
Oh.
It's fine, but yeah, he's an example.
Yeah. So the other technique is what James has just described as taking, like, actually having the character's thoughts and memories and really trying to become that character and implementing that into your performance in that scene.
Yeah.
Which is what I think I'm going to attempt
Yeah.
next lesson. I'm sort of in the wind of this one at the minute.
I mean, it was interesting in the sense of I was using more of the Stanislavski technique because where I'm at, I'm just trying to find out, you know, try different things and see what works for me. And what I was actually doing was I wasn't taking the memory of something else and thinking of that memory. What I was trying to do was I was trying to take the feeling I got from that experience and then implement that feeling into how I should feel as a character. And reflecting back on it, it's not the most truthful way or, like, you know, genuine way to create a performance, because quite simply every experience is going to feel different. It's going to have a different effect because I'm with different people. It's a different time, different situation essentially. So that lesson learned.
And then finally we had Ryan on Friday. Actually, you don't tell what you did on Friday. Let me get my notes because I think I still have it, what Ryan said to me, because he gave me feedback.
I could start, Fred, if you'd like.
Yeah, right.
Essentially, Ryan gave us about 10-15 minutes when we first came in to get into character and work on our monologues. And then afterwards we all sat down and we went up one by one. The monologue that I did was Richard II. I, again, was just thinking about... I was just trying to think about how movement... I'm playing the king, and like the context in Richard II at this point, he's been betrayed. He's been betrayed by practically everyone, and his kingdom's almost being usurped from him by somebody called Bolingbroke. And this is when he's giving basically a motivational speech to himself and all his soldiers, and he's talking about how they own nothing but a barren heap of land, and their saved deposed bodies to the ground because everything's been stolen by Bolingbroke. in terms of something that Ryan was really happy with was like voice. He just gave me a tick. He didn't give me anything to work on for voice, so that was really cool. But one thing Ryan does want me to work on is to be braver with my choices, and I have to say that reflecting back on it, I definitely agree with him, because I know within myself that I was a bit hesitant and doubting myself a little bit. I didn't want to go for brave choices because I wanted to just create this is a king, this is how a king should speak. I did move, yeah.
I did comedy of errors. That was my comedy Shakespeare. Brian said to me, well, first I got into character by just thinking about him and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, at one moment I was just sitting there just going over my lines, and then I went out first, by the way, and I performed it. Ryan said to me my projection was fab. He even put a tick on it as well. He did say to me my physicality needs to be bigger, and I kind of agree. He said this to the whole class, but something about us, we always stay in this one specific spot. My character is like a servant, and he's all jumpy and all that sort of stuff. So if I want to move this way, I want to be bigger physicality and all that sort of stuff. But I can't just move there because I want to move there. Sometimes if I just stay still, or not my character, but if I was doing another play, if I just stay there, it's still good enough. It's don't think that because you're standing still, oh wait, no, I haven't moved in a long time, let me just move that way because I feel like it, because movement. That's not the case. This is a trouble. This is hard for me. I need to spell out the words properly. That is an issue that I've been having a lot. Ryan recommends me doing the tongue twister exercise, which we did way before. This is year one stuff. So I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna definitely do that before I perform now. Great line focus. I started strong, so that's another thing which was really good. My vocal delivery, great. My stage presence, great. And that was about it, what he said about my comedy of errors. Kieran?
Yeah. Sorry, I just had a little yawn there. I was playing Puck, and Ryan said the same sort of thing to me that he said to James, which was be a bit more brave with the character. He said I was closing myself off to just make a brave decision and go for it. Because my character is a very spry, over-the-top character, but the issue is with me and that specific monologue that he says, he's talking to the audience. So I wasn't quite sure on how to be spry and upbeat, because if I'm saying something to an audience and I'm going, if we shadows have offended, I don't quite know how to interact with the audience and be spry on my feet, because I've got no reason to then turn around and go over here or do anything move. I have no reason, and the thing is with them sort of characters, you have to sort of have a reason to move. So what he suggested to me was just sort of go really quickly, running up closer to the audience, saying a line and sort of backing away a bit, and then a couple lines later doing the same thing but onto a different part of the audience or whatnot, just to sort of give that character that sort of livelihood feeling that he normally would have. So I think in Ryan's lesson on Friday this week, I'm going to try and sort of do that, so be prepared for me to jump in your faces.
I feel like you'll be good at that, to be honest.
I don't.
No, I think you would.
I'm just going to keep practicing it.
I think as long as you have fun with it, sort of thing, because you're playing this right, and I know a bit about oh my gosh, my mind's gone blank. Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah.
I know that Puck, or Robin Goodfellow, is always going about messing things up.
Yeah.
And he's friends with Oberon as well, King Oberon. Should we talk about what we did at the end of the day with Jamie?
Yeah, Jamie's lesson, he gave us our two monologues we were given. He says, make sure you know them because you're about to perform two of them, even though we all performed one of them. I performed my contemporary comedy one. Jamie said a lot of things about it. It was sort of similar to what I said about my comments earlier. My tongue twister again. I need to do that because I forgot to do that this lesson. I need to be more clear of the words. Before I said, should I do it in an American accent because it is American, but he said no, I'll just leave it because it sounds better in English. So I would do that. I think just like scan through the words and just like understand the meaning of it, because like there's some parts where like I can make it funny, but I just didn't know like until now when Jamie gave me the review. He said there's lots of parts where like you can make it really really funny, and like make stuff like really like touching. Because I'm talking about a girl I want to see in detention, but I can't because I don't have detention. She goes by two names, Harmony and Harm. If you think about it, Harmony means beautiful, and Harm just means like dangerous, of course. So I think I just need to analyze my script. Once I've done that, then I should have a rough idea like how my play is going or my monologue's going. So that's about it.
For me, I did a monologue from the play Death of a Salesman. I played the character Biff, and this is a monologue that Biff has to Willie, that's his father, at the end of the play, where he's basically having a bit of a breakdown with his dad, because he's just sick of the way his dad treats him, and his whole life he's constantly tried to please his father and make him happy by doing what he wants him to do, but he's never really been happy. He's never really been happy doing that, but he's just always tried to make other people around him happy. And this whole monologue is talking about his first line is, "Do you know I had no address for 3 months? I stole a suit in Kansas City and I was in jail." So it's like all the truth's coming out, and it's all about how he feels, and he's letting Willie know what he thinks. It's a really powerful monologue, and I really like it. The strength Jamie said was I had excellent focus, which I was really pleased with, because I have worked on that monologue quite a bit, and my main thing was about just within myself being able to build up that emotion and understand the significance of what I'm talking about. Something Jamie said that I need to work on, or something that I could try out, he said, is doing it with an American accent. So I'm getting a modern American accent, like something from like New York or of that style. So I'm going to give that a go and just see how I get on.
Did you even perform yours?
I did not perform.
She didn't even perform yours.
But the lessons, I managed to get a lot done with the monologues. Like I sort of practiced that as Puck leaping towards people, and then I realised it was too contemporary, and I was like, oh, okay. So I started working on a play that I have, a monologue that I haven't performed yet, but I didn't really get all that much done with it because I needed Jamie's help, and he sort of just vanished. So
one thing what my strength was, what Jamie said to me, I forgot to say, is when before I started, I took like a minute. Jamie said that there's quite a lot of people that when they do their play, they just get into it straight away, and he's like, how do they do that? Like, you gotta get into character first. Like, we're not professionals yet. If we're professionals, then I'll probably get it, but right now I wouldn't expect you to just jump into character straight away. And there was one other stroke that he said, my lines, that was also a good thing. Before I did my performance, I read my lines to Jamie, and he said, yeah, perfect. So yeah, that's about it, what we did this whole week, really. Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's our week 2 Viva done.
Well, thanks for watching.